I wonder where that fish has gone. You did love it so. You looked after it like a son. And it went wherever I did go. Is it in the cupboard? Wouldn't you like to know? It was a most elusive fish, and it went wherever I did go. I don't remember the whole thing, and I don't remember the hand signals. From my favorite Monty Python movie, Monty Python, The Meaning of Life. Very strange sketch, that one. I'm sitting here in my mom's bed, rubbing my neck. She died yesterday morning. Certainly more poetic to say, oh, she passed on. She did that too. I've seen a dead body once before. It was Emmett Clancy's great aunt. Or his grandmother? I guess it was his grandmother? Or his great aunt. I can't remember the exact relationship, but he was there. We were all gathered around the body. Oh, yeah, I guess it was his grandmother, and his aunt was there, like, dressing the body and petting the body and putting makeup on and combing her hair. And I guess they were really Catholic, and that's the thing that you do. And it was going to be an open casket ceremony, and the aunt, his mom's sister, was just like petting the body and lovingly stroking the body. And she told me, and painting it, you know, making the skin tones right. And I guess it had already been embalmed. And she told me, you can touch her. And to me, it was an it. It wasn't a her. And I touched its hand, and it was cold and clammy. And it freaked me out because it just looked like a big old department store dummy to me. But just made of different material. And so yesterday, my mom took her last breath at roughly 5 a.m. And I did not spend the night at the center. My body was ringing with pain. Literally, just my whole nervous system was just, it was horrible. And I have all my meds. I was taking them. But the bed, you could feel every spring in the really cheap little mattress they had there. And since the night I arrived, my mom was having so much trouble. And my brother had said, oh, you know, she's 2 weeks from being out of dialysis. But my mom was saying it was more like 4. Just because she had skipped a number of them. She was supposed to go 3 times a week, and this week she only went once, and that week she only went once, or didn't even complete a whole session. So they didn't know how much she had actually missed. So she was in really rough shape by the time I got here. And I was thinking, well, she needs 3 square meals or whatever, a day. And I'm going to get her on those probiotics to fix the gut issues. And she just needs my help. I'm just going to be there and I'm going to help her. And by the 3rd day, it was clear that it was far beyond what I could do. And by her 4th day at the center, they put her on round-the-clock medications, and it was clear she was not leaving there. And so yesterday morning, I had spent the night here just to sleep on a decent bed with softer pillows that I knew were not going to injure me. And even though I didn't sleep at all, I felt a lot better being here and not hearing that labored breath. So I got the call from my brother, and then took a shower and got picked up and went over there. And there it was, my mom's dead body. Starting to not starting to do anything. I mean, it wasn't her. It wasn't her anymore. It was just the avatar, the mouth open, as it had been for the last 3 days, where the inhale and the exhale was going. And her face was a yellowy gray, and her hands were completely gray. Its hands, completely gray. And I felt a hand. I was just checking for rings, double checking for rings, when the Dignity Health lady came to remove the body, take it to the Neptune Society for cremation. So it was weird. It took him about an hour and a half to get there. So my brother and I were just talking, and he was always very Christian for a long time. But he's experienced some really interesting things. I guess they were doing Tai Chi for a while, and he had some expanded consciousness experiences through the meditation. I know that the fan noise is really loud right now, so you're probably not hearing me too well. So the body is sitting there in the middle of the room, and we're just chattering away cheerfully for a long time about spiritual matters. And, just like we'd been doing while she was ill, as if she wasn't even there. So strange. And sometimes we would have conversations like that anyway, where we would connect on, music or something. Because he and I both like progressive rock. It's a big thing that we always connected on. She would get so annoyed because we were supposed to be visiting with her and not with each other. Damn it. How dare we? So, but she couldn't speak up and get mad now. So she's gone. And now the great packing up takes place, because She's got to be out of this apartment at the end of September. So, in the will, it was so funny. She kept telling me about a list. I've made a list. I've made a list. And for years, even long before it was appropriate for her to do so, she'd be talking about, well, I'm going to give you this, and I've promised, this other brother this, and such is going to get this. And I'd be like, oh, God, this is so morbid. Why are you talking about that now? So morbid. I mean, but then as she got older, it made sense. I'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I always kind of had my eye on this piece. Oh, well, such and such has their eye on this piece too. Okay, all right. So in the end, what she did was she made my brother here in Phoenix the sole beneficiary. And she specifically said, I leave nothing to my daughter and my other children. And I was aghast. It's like, what the fuck? This whole time I've been here before she had to go to the center. She was like, I made a list. There's a list. You're going to get this, and such going to get this. Just like she's always done. Except she made the change saying, I'm not going to get the china. And I was like, what? That was a wedding present. You've had it since your wedding. You always promised it to me. And she was like, oh, you never expressed an interest. And I'm like, but. And then in the will, I was just like, is this supposed to be like a final fuck you from the grave? What is going on? And then, my brother sends a copy of the will out to everybody, and we're like, conference call now. And he explains, okay, she did it this way. I couldn't say anything. She did it this way specifically so that there wouldn't be any fighting. Obviously, I don't want all this stuff. I don't have room in my house, as you've seen my house. Let's have the conference call, and which he's always said, you get this and you get that and blah, blah, blah. And what else do you want? And it went really smoothly. And we were all like, oh, yeah, okay, because she's been saying this shit for years. It's like, but what a stupid way to do it. It's like, why not just say what you've always been saying for years? Such and such gets this, and such and such, whatever. Whatever, lady, you're crazy. It's like, why would we fight if you just list out what you've always been saying? Dumb bitch. Okay, whatever. Whatever. But anyway. I've already started clearing off all little tchotchkes and things. And cleaning the bathroom. I spent so much time cleaning the bathroom. She was always so clean, but renal failure made her really weak. And then she had the psoriatic arthritis and the rheumatoid arthritis, which made it really hard for her to move around. She lived alone in this apartment and took care of herself right up to the very end. And it's like, dang, girl. That's, even though you were having a rough time, that is pretty impressive. And that's how she wanted to live. And she died how she wanted to die. She never went into a home or anything like that. And she spent 4 days at an inpatient care center, not even attached to an oxygen machine. She was at first because she was like, I can't breathe. and then when she couldn't wake up anymore, she's like, okay, no, I don't want this anymore either. She was awake enough to be able to do that, and like, no, get rid of it. I need to not have it. It's like, that's pretty amazing. So the one thing that really kind of crushed my heart was she was having so much difficulty with her gut and everything. Her bathroom was a mess. And this was a fastidious lady, so I spent a lot of time yesterday cleaning the bathroom. But it's close to being move-in ready. I need to, when we get out of here, it's got to be move-in ready. So, and apparently there's quite the waiting list to get into this facility. It's a 3-story, very large, 55 and over complex, and it's gorgeous. They have activities. They've got very large social spaces that are, because of COVID, not really being encouraged to be used. But there's a smallish swimming pool, but there's a very large community center, the grand piano and a huge kitchen and a drop down television. Then there's another like gathering area that's super elegant, and there are several tables where you can just kind of like sit. There's always coffee there. Then there's another like area where you can just like hang out, these oversized chairs and like a sofa, a large screen, flat screen aquarium of all things. And it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I've always been kind of like, this is the way you should have been living all along, lady. And the apartments are lovely and the people are nice. And so I was really happy for her when she could get in here. Gated, of course. So